Hi and welcome to this new video. My name is Ashley Davis from helituning.com, and today we're going to be looking at the T-Rex 450 Sport Super Combo, and I'm going to be giving you an overview of what you get in the kit, and specifically this is not going to be a what's in the box video. So I'm not just going to trawl through this box and pull stuff out and say here's a fly bar, here's a tail, because I don't think that's particularly useful. What I'm going to do is dip into here and give you some of the key features of the T-Rex 450 Sport, and try to explain what differences between this and some of the other offerings from the other manufacturers, and why this might be the right model for you. So we're going to concentrate on the key features and get a real understanding of what you get when you get the T-Rex 450 Sport Super Combo. Okay, so moving along, let's just peel back the box here. As is the norm with the line kits these days, the packaging is getting better and better, and the 450 Sport is no exception. Gone are the plastic kind of insert trays that we've seen, and with this kit you just get these cardboard boxes which are clearly labelled as to what the contents of each of those is. I'm not just going to trawl through here though, I'm just going to pick out the main things and show you some of the main features of the kit. First item I've pulled out here to show you is the T-Rex 450 Sport rotor head, and this is fully built, not how it comes in the kit. And what I want to show you here is that one of the comments made about the 450 Sport that I've seen online is that it's just an SEV2 rehashed, and that's not actually the case. There are some changes in the rotor head that you won't have on a 450 SEV2. The mixer arms are updated and have nice connections at the bottom here. There's a new head block which is different to the SEV2 head block. The blade grips are the same as the SEV2. The flybar cage is similar to the SEV2 as well. What the differences between this and the 450 Pro are that you've got around an extra 1.5mm of rotor disc on the 450 Pro, as the blade bolts are 1.5mm further apart in total. That's not 1.5mm from here to there and 1.5 from there to there extra, making a 3mm in total. It's actually 1.5, for the whole distance wider on the 450 Pro. Also, the flybar cage here is narrower on the 450 Sport than on the 450 Pro, and the difference that will make is that on the Pro, because the cage is wider, it means that your cyclic inputs are going to be less twitchy, whereas on the 450 Sport with a narrower cage, your cyclic inputs are going to have a greater effect on the flybar, and therefore it should be slightly more twitchy in the hover. Aside from that, the rotor head between the 450 Sport and the 450 Pro is very, very similar, although outwardly the CNC is actually quite different. But if you check all the various measurements on the mixer arms, distances on the delta, distances between the blade grips, all the other important measurements, there's very, very little difference between the Sport and the Pro. As I said, it's purely the distance between the blade grip bolts, 1.5mm larger on the Pro, and the flybar cage is slightly wider on the Pro. Aside from that, they're otherwise the same. Okay, the next thing I pulled out here is the tail gearbox and the tail rotor, and what I want to show you here is that this is in fact a full metal CNC tail gearbox and tail rotor, and it's even got the counterbalanced tail grips from the 450 Pro, all metal parts. The only difference on the 450 Sport versus the 450 Pro is the Sport is a belt drive. So we've got our belt drive system rather than our torque tube system here, but aside from that we've got all the same CNC parts that you would expect to get on the 450 Pro. Okay. Okay, the next thing I pulled out here is the undercarriage. And the reason I pulled this out is because on the 450 Pro we've got a single piece undercarriage. On the 450 Sport we've got the original Align built up undercarriage, although the struts are a little bit different to what we would normally see on something like the 450 SEV2. But it's a built up undercarriage and not the single piece from the 450 Pro. Okay, the next thing we've got here is the frame set for the 450 Sport, and this is a departure from the way the 450 Pro is done. 450 Pro is a single set of frames which gives you very, very good rigidity, and it's a very narrow frame set. It's quite difficult to get the radio gear into the 450 Pro frame set, but you know, for that compromise on fitting the radio equipment, you do get a very, very stiff set of frames. And that does contribute to the handling characteristics of the 450 Pro. With the Sport, the design is back to the stacked frame type design, where you've got a lower, wider frame and then an upper, narrower frame, and the two kind of sit together inside like that. One thing they have changed though is the way they're bolting the frames together, and in the past we'd seen just these little round posts that went between the two frames. On the 450 Sport they haven't completely moved away from that, because at the front here you've still got some posts, but at the back there's a more solid arrangement that fits into this area here and holds the back end here much more rigidly. And the last thing that we can see inside of here is, I'm just trying to show you, is the pulley for driving the belt, and I spin that in there, and you can see in the top there you can see the pulley that the belt goes onto, metal pulley. And the other thing to have a look at here is we've got metal bearing blocks as well. So again, not skimping with plastic bearing blocks, we've got you know, high quality metal bearing blocks in here, which gives the frame a bit more rigidity. Most of the other materials holding the frames together, the bottom plate, the radio tray, is plastic, so we can expect that there may be some flex in those, and I'm not expecting this frame to be quite as rigid as what we've seen with the 450 Pro, but even so it does feel pretty strong and pretty stiff, so I think it'll be okay. Okay, I've pulled out the electronics here just to give you a quick look at these. The speaker controller is the usual BL35X, which you can see there. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, because that's standard equipment. We've seen that on Align helicopters for a while. There is a new motor. I think this is the upgrade motor that they brought out for the 450 Pro when they changed the motor on the 450 Pro. So this is exactly the same motor they're using for the 450 Sport. And then we have some electronics here. We've got DS410M metal geared servos for the cyclics, and then for the tail, again we've got a slight change to what you would get with the 450 Pro. It's still the GP750 gyro, but we've got a DS420 digital tail servo rather than, I think it was the 520 that came with the 450 Pro. So a smaller servo, which is going to fit on the boom, and I guess that's the reason why they've done that, is because it's going on the boom. They want to save some weight, whereas with the 450 Pro they could put the medium-sized servo in the back of the frames, and it didn't affect the balance of the helicopter too much. Okay, just a very, very quick one there. So just pulled out the packet that has got the boom and that kind of stuff in it. I just wanted to highlight that the brackets that hold the tail servo onto the boom are CNC. These aren't plastic, as we've seen in the past. And you've got CNC parts for holding the tail servo on, so that should give you a nice rigid hold for the tail servo. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, and the 450 Sport Super Combo also comes with blades, and in the box are Align 325 325mm blades, and these are carbon blades. So these aren't a fiberglass blade. Again, they've not skimped on this. This is a proper 3D blade. Okay, and the last item I've pulled out here to show you is the Canopy, because again, this is a change, certainly for the 450 Sport model, over to the 450 Pro style Canopy, and this is a particularly nicely finished canopy that they produced for the Sport. Nice paint scheme, and very good finish on the paints. In fact, I think it's stickers and then it's just been gloss coated, but even so, still looks very nice and tidy.